Robin, Body Talk for an album, and Woody Allen's Manhattan Murder Mystery.
And maybe briefly why?
The film, I would say, besides having a great impact on my entire life, but with our band, specifically this album, there's a classic New York feel, like sort of imagery that you might get from classic Woody Allen films or the New Yorker magazine or Hirschfeld, that kind of art. It's it all plays into this aesthetic that we were in touch with when we were making the album. So I don't know if that's something that resonates for people when they hear it, but it's our intention for it too. So that would be why that film is. And then Robin's Body Talk, very specifically, it's a brilliant pop album, and that means a lot more than it sounds, because pop music has become incredibly bastardized in our modern culture, but it's one of the greatest styles of music of all time. And what the greatest pop is, everything from the Beatles to ABBA, to Queen, going through the years, to Michael Jackson, is the kind of music that unites masses of people because they want to move to it together, they want to feel it together, and it creates a feeling that is often physical, but you peel back one layer and the lyrics are beautiful. And that's the essence of pop. On the radio now, a lot of the lyrics, they don't really matter, and some of the beats, it's just sort of lowest common denominator. So to me, Robin's Body Talk is a return to why pop music is absolutely brilliant. And that's something that I hope for, we want to be a part of.
You want to go? Because I guess still think.
Okay, sure. I think an album that has heavily influenced our band is Abbey Road by the Beatles. Maybe not even in any direct way, but in a way that, you can hear the personalities of these different people coming together, and you know, I guess in retrospect, we know what their relationship was like at the time, but all that matters at that moment is that it's people in a room making music together that you know that they're in love with at the time, and you can hear these melodies come through and know, oh, that's John right there, or that's Paul, and you know that. And I'd like to think that that's the way we operate as a band, where you hear a unified sound, but if you listen a little more deeply, you can tell that these little bits of personality of each of us are poking through in their own ways. And as far as a movie, I would say I'm going to say Wet Hot American Summer, not for its influence on our music at all, but I would say it's had such a tremendous impact on our sense of humor and our comedy within each other, with each other, that it's something that we can't escape. I'd say Wet Hot American Summer.
Movie-wise, I'm going to go with The Goods, and that's because we watched it over and over again before we made the album, so there are always good comedic references, and we're not taking ourselves, I don't think, as seriously when we're in the studio or just hanging around as the songs necessarily suggest. And I think that humor is such a massive part of what keeps us going. And I think musically, I guess I would probably say Nas Illmatic, because there's just something about how inspiring that was, just from a rhythmic perspective. For me, I wanted, even though I don't think the drums ended up sounding so much like that, but there are so many moments where we're using things like breakbeats and whatnot. And from a production standpoint, I really wanted the album to have a lot of those elements, because I think it's incredible. Plus, just the way that the storytelling is just so inspiring for me as a lyricist, someone that can assess a situation and write about it.